Good morning. I'm Justin Greathouse. This is my morning walk. Hope you guys are doing amazing today. If this is your first time joining me, whether you're checking me out on YouTube and watching the video or you're listening to the podcast, welcome. If this is your first time listening, this is just me going on my morning walk, talking to you guys about some things that I've been thinking about the night before or things that I've been listening to or reading. Anyway, I hope you guys get a lot out of today's episode. Today I really want to talk about morning routine. So a lot of people do talk about a morning routine, but a lot of times they're trying to sell you something with it. But morning routine should be something really that, wakes you up, gets you going, gets you out of bed, and kind of gets your momentum going with wins. So don't think that you need to start waking up at 4 a.m. out the gate. If you have to be at work at 6, maybe you're already getting up at 5, you could roll it back a little bit and start getting more done in your morning. A lot of people will get up at the last possible second, barely stumble out of bed, throw on the closest shirt to them, get some coffee, stumble into work, spend the first couple hours at work groggy and unproductive, where a high achiever will wake up, they'll go through an entire morning routine, and then by the time that it gets to getting to their day starting, they've already accomplished so much stuff that they've got the momentum, they've got the wins, and they're just going and crushing. So I've got some notes I'm going to be referencing, so if I'm looking away, it's either looking at my notes or making sure I don't get hit by a car, because I am walking on the road. So let's see here. How you start your day, though, is going to really decide how the rest of your day goes. So like I said, you don't want to start it groggy and just kind of make and do. You want to be effective and start with a win. So really, how long does a morning routine take? If you think about it, when you're first starting out, it's not going to take much longer than what you're already doing. It's just going to be more structured time. I would say all in all, though, if you could take 2 hours total and have your entire morning routine nailed out, you're going to be so effective and getting so much stuff done that it's crazy. So you don't want to, if you are one of those people that just rolls out of bed and kind of gets going, you don't want to go straight into getting up 2 hours earlier. The best way that they've said to kind of get your body adjusted to that is wake up 15 minutes earlier, and then every couple of days take off another 15 minutes. So it can be, say you're getting up right now at 7:30. Do 7:15 for a week, then do 7 for a week, and work your way back. Give yourself more and more time to be more and more effective. So you're going to start noticing how much time you do actually have when you start going along that way, and how much time you probably waste, because most people waste a lot of time just in the morning not getting anything done, playing a game on their phone, scrolling through Facebook, scrolling through the news. Once you start to structure it, you'll notice how much a lot of that stuff falls away. And no one's perfect. I mean, I've got things that distract me in the morning too. I've got a game that I play that if I don't catch myself, all of a sudden I've wasted 30 minutes, and then now I can't take my morning shower. So you gotta be able to catch yourself on what you're doing and what's going on, so that you can make sure you're sticking to your morning routine and not letting stuff that's not helping you move forward, take the place of stuff that is. I recommend setting your alarm for 7 days a week. Now, a lot of people will tell you, oh, it's fine to sleep in on Saturday and Sunday. Oh, it's fine to take some time off and reset and relax. The problem is your body does not like waking up at different times. when I was in the military, that was a big issue for a lot of people. Is for this watch you have to wake up at this time, for this watch you have to wake up at a different time. Your body's all over the place, you're waking up at different times every day, and that's just not good for your body, not good for your mental health, and just not good in general. When you're not sleeping well due to constantly changing the alarm, your metabolism starts to get all whacked out, then your brain chemistry starts to get all messed up, and so it's just you never get where you're trying to get to, and it starts messing with your head. So I recommend just waking up at the same time every day. That's also why you don't want to do anything drastic like go from waking up at 7:30 to 4, because if you're starting to try to wake up at 4 on Saturday and you're used to waking up at noon, that's a giant shift, and you're gonna have a really hard time. And you may be able to do it for a couple of days. I'm not saying like people can't just jump into waking up a lot earlier. The problem with that is that most people, when they do that, they'll be good for 3-4 days, and then all of a sudden they're crashing. So if you're crashing when you're trying to wake up and trying to get more done, you're going to end up finding yourself not sticking to it. And if you don't stick to it, now you're quitting on something, and then a lot of people will start getting that negative self-talk, being like, oh, I'm a quitter, I didn't finish this thing, I didn't keep going, and then you spiral down, and that's not good for your mental health either. So do yourself a favor, take it slowly, and then make sure to do it 7 days a week. Don't be somebody who's like, oh, I can cheat on the weekend, even if your weekend's not on Saturday and Sunday, because I know a lot of people work different shifts. So whatever's your particular situation, just stick to a 7-day week consistency rather than a 5-day a week cheat on the weekend type of mentality. Now, as far as what you should do for your morning routine, I've got a list of things that I think that everybody should eventually get to. Now, I don't think that people are going to get there right away, and I don't think that you should, because if you go from no morning routine to 10 things in your morning routine, you're not going to stick with that. That's too much on your plate. So you want to start with just a couple really simple things that get your momentum going, and then once a week add in the next thing, add in the next thing, add in the next thing, and then by the time 3 months passes, now you've got your 10 items a day that you're getting done in the morning before most people are probably even awake, and you've got momentum. By the time that year passes, you're going to be so much further ahead than you were before. So first item I've got is make your bed. Now, there's a lot of research around making your bed and what it does for you to start your day off with making your bed, but if you think about it, the biggest thing, at least for me, is starting that day off with a win. So when you start your day off with a win and momentum, you're just going to keep going through the day, because instead of waking up and rolling out of bed and your bed's a mess and then you kind of keep going, you go to work, now you wake up, first thing you do, boom, your bed's made. Now you've already accomplished something, so whatever else is on your to-do list, you can get it done. So it's just going to be check after check after check, getting all your stuff done. On the back end of that, when you come home after a long day and you look at a messy bed, you're going to be like, ugh, and you're going to feel lethargic, and you're just not going to be doing great. And so when you go to bed, you're not going to get as great of sleep, whereas it's been proven that going into a clean made bed at night helps you sleep better. So if you want to be more effective in your morning, you got to sleep better. The second thing is to take your vitamins. So a lot of people don't take any vitamins, and I don't recommend going crazy on vitamins right out the gate either. So I take a fair amount of vitamins, but it was a process over time. I didn't start off taking a ton of vitamins, but basically I started with like a daily vitamin and maybe an antacid of some sort And then I would add a vitamin here that sounded good, or add a vitamin there, or someone would recommend, like, I used to suffer from pretty bad back pain, so I had someone recommend that I start taking a turmeric, because it's a natural anti-inflammatory. So I added that in. I tried to donate blood, and I was told that my iron was too low because I was spending too much time working out and not eating enough red meat. So I started taking an iron supplement, joint supplement, because as you get older, you want to make sure your joints stay good rather than trying to fix a problem. I'm much more about making sure that you preemptively attack the problems. Don't let them get bad and then try to fix them. Try to do anything that you can in your power to keep them from getting bad. So that's why I take a joint supplement. And I take a magnesium supplement, because studies show that the best anti-cancer vitamin is magnesium. So my family doesn't really have a history of cancer. I haven't had any issues. I mean, I'm only in my mid-30s. But it's one of those things, like, if I can reduce my chance of getting cancer by 20% by just taking a magnesium pill in the morning, I'm going to do it. I'd much rather be safe than sorry, or at least as safe as possible. So, but what I recommend is just take a daily vitamin, get the habit going. You're going to start to notice that your energy is going up and you're just feeling a lot better. And you're getting sick a lot less. So, my whole family right now is sick. My kids are sick, my wife is sick, I'm not sick, and I attribute that a lot to vitamins, because it's not like I've been avoiding my family. I'm still spending time with them, I'm still talking with them, I'm still sitting next to them for meals, I'm still sitting with them on the couch and cuddling with them, and I haven't gotten sick. They've been sick for a little over a week now. My youngest is going on almost 2 weeks being sick, and I just don't get sick because I take a lot of vitamins and I spend a lot of time doing things that I know improve my immune system. So, speaking of immune system, my next thing is taking a shower. Now, yeah, you should take a shower for like the hygiene benefits, obviously, but you should take at least a couple minutes of a cold shower. So what I like to do is I like to take my shower at, I would say, regular temp, whatever that is. Slightly warm, but not like a hot shower. Something that's kind of comfortable. And I do my shower, and then at the end, I turn my water as cold as it'll go, and I face the shower head and I put my head down and I just kind of let it wash over my whole body for about 2 minutes. And then after that, I just kind of spin around and let it rinse everything. But doing a cold shower, one, greatly boosts your immunity. It increases your response to body attackers so that your immunity is a lot stronger. It increases your metabolism. It tightens up your skin so that you have better health of your skin. It wakes you up. It gets you going in the morning. There's tons and tons of benefits. I highly recommend at least a 1 to 2 minute cold shower every day. So something to look into, something to think about. But definitely start doing that. Next one, exercise. So a lot of people don't get any exercise, or maybe they'll work out 2 days a week or 3 days a week, and they're like, oh, I'm in decent shape, I go to the gym twice a week. Now, what's the idea behind that? Everybody's like, oh, your body needs rest, you need a rest day, you need to take time off. And well, your body does need rest, your whole body doesn't need rest. The thing you worked out the day before could use some rest. So don't do a major chest workout 7 days a week in a row. Do a chest workout, then do a back workout, then do a leg workout, then do an arms workout, then do an ab workout. You can rotate through, and then you don't ever have to worry about the rest days, because you're giving that muscle group plenty of time off to rest. But that discipline of getting out there every day and just doing it, it doesn't even need to be for very long. I know people like Andy Frisella recommend a 45-minute workout, which is great if you've got the equipment or the ability to do it. And I love going to the gym, so when I'm able to, that 45-minute workout's amazing. I'm not always able to make it to the gym, so I have a little home gym workout set up, and it's not very much. It's a cable system that goes over the door, and what I do is I will do one set of whatever workout I'm doing. Then I'll read 2 pages in a book for my time between. I'll do my next set, and I'll do that for 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes, depending on what I'm working out. But it's not always 45 minutes. The idea is just to start getting out, putting in some work, making your muscles sore. Because when you start your day with a workout and with exercise, you start your brain being ready to kind of overcome obstacles, overcome that pain, deal with whatever's coming up. So definitely do some exercise. My next one is to go for a walk. So a lot of people like cardio, and a lot of people hate cardio. But if you look at it this way, cardio is great for your body and it's great for your heart. But going for a walk has so many more benefits than just doing straight up cardio. So I was listening to an interview with Tony Robbins, and he was talking to Arjun Gupta, and they were talking about how the best thing that you can do for your brain health is to go for a brisk walk in the morning. Because when you go for a brisk walk, what that does is that releases all of these neurotropic hormones into your brain to increase brain health, but it doesn't cause the stress hormone release of extreme exercise. So going for a walk kind of is one of the best things that you can do for your brain, your mental health, your mental sharpness, which is what they were talking about. So I definitely say go for a walk. Now, the benefits of going for a walk for me are not only that, but it gets me time away from my house, and I go for my walk alone, as you can see. I don't walk with my wife or my kids. Sometimes in the evenings we'll go for a second walk together as a family, but my morning walk is just me. It's my time to think, my time to clear my head. A lot of my best ideas in business in my life have come from my morning walk, things I've listened to during the morning walk on a podcast or an audio book, things like that. And then just the quiet, I get to listen to the birds chirp. My walk takes me past a park, it takes me past the ocean, so I get to listen to the waves. A lot of really great stuff just that you get for going out on a walk. Now, drinking something cold is also something that a lot of people recommend. I've heard Ed Milet say he starts his day drinking something cold. I've heard Tony Robbins say he starts his day with drinking something cold. A lot of people say cold water, which is great because that kind of sets your body up and your metabolism up for, being hydrated for the day. I actually drink a cold Gatorade based on a recommendation from my chiropractor about 2, maybe 3 years ago. But basically they were saying that I was getting these big muscle knots everywhere and a lot of joint pain, and it was because of a lack of electrolytes. And so I wanted to figure out a way that I could incorporate getting more electrolytes in my routine. So rather than trying to figure out just a time throughout the day to try to get a Gatorade in, I started taking my vitamins with an ice cold Gatorade. Then when I'm done taking my vitamins, what I do just to get more electrolytes and to also kind of try to alkaline my blood a little bit, which if you look at the science can be very helpful, although a lot of people say your blood can't be too affected. It can be a little affected, and that has properties of fighting back cancer and mental health issues. And I mean, there's a lot of benefits to just having alkaline blood. But what I do is I include a electrolyte tablet into my Gatorade, and it's got a little bit of caffeine too, so I don't need to drink any coffee or anything like that. It's got like 40-50 milligrams of caffeine. And then I do a superfoods tablet that's got kale and spinach and pomegranate and all the different superfoods, the veggies and the fruits. And so what that does is that allows me to start my day with something cold, a little bit of caffeine to kind of get my blood going, and then superfoods so that I get a lot of my daily nutrients and I'm set up for success for the whole day. Next, you should do stretching. So this is something that I struggle with. I always say I'm going to stretch more, and then I fall down on the ball. I do try and do some stretching in the morning, mostly when I'm doing my morning reading. I'll sit in a position that's a stretch for one muscle group or another, and I'll try to sit there for a couple minutes and then switch. But what stretching does is it calms your mind, and it really lets you get centered and focused before your day really gets started out. Next, we got skincare. So as a guy, it's kind of taboo to do skincare, but you don't have to do anything crazy. So as a guy, all that I do is I do a charcoal cleaner scrub on my face, and then I do a little bit of a moisturizer with some SPF in it, because I spend a lot of my day outside, so it's good to have just a little something to kind of help protect the skin. So as women, you could have a simple morning routine face care too. It doesn't need to be anything complicated. I know my wife has hers, and it's a little bit more complicated, but nothing crazy. Face scrub, moisturizer, eye serum, that sort of thing, and then makeup at some point. But you can kind of do what works for you. It doesn't need to be anything crazy. Start simple. But what that does is it makes you focus at least a couple minutes every morning on self-care. So you're pampering yourself a little bit. You're providing yourself with a little bit of comfort, but you're putting a couple minutes of focus on yourself, for yourself, just to make yourself feel good. So I recommend a little bit of self-care, and that's a good place to start. Self-reflection is a good thing to add into your morning routine, and it doesn't have to be anything long. Like I said, I like to do mine on my morning walk. I like to kind of think about where I'm at, where I'm going, what I really want, what I can improve on, and I do a little bit of journaling at night. So what I'll do in the morning is I'll pull open my journal from the night before, and one of the things I like to write down is what could I have improved on today. And so I'll reflect on what I could have improved on. I'll reflect on the things I learned, the things I accomplished the day before, and that will allow me some time to self-reflect as I'm going on my walk and really thinking about, what I can do to just be a better person, a better husband, a better father. Gratitude. So I couldn't even tell you the number of people that are big high achievers that I've heard talk about the benefits of having your day with gratitude. I've heard a lot of little hacks. People will say when you brush your teeth, spend those 2 minutes thinking about all the stuff you're grateful for. People will say start your day every day with just saying thank you. Saying thank you for being alive, thank you for the things in your life that you're happy about. I like to write my gratitude down. So when I'm going through part of my morning routine, I do my big goals in life, I do my daily affirmations, and then I write down the top 10 or 15 things that I'm grateful for. And it's usually the same stuff, but sometimes I'll be grateful for something different that morning. So my wife, my kids, my dogs, they're always on my list. My health, my kids' health, those sort of things. I always think about being grateful for having all of that stuff, and that I get to continue living the life I'm living. I also, during my walk, as I'm walking through the trees, which as you guys can see, I try and aim my walk to walk past as much nature as possible. So as I'm looking at the trees, waving in the wind, I like to think of myself, man, thank you for the trees and for this beautiful world that I get to look at and walk around in and experience. So definitely recommend starting your day with gratitude. I don't know of a single person who's accomplished a lot of stuff in their life who doesn't start their day with gratitude. Next is to read, but not just read. So you want to read some nonfiction, and you want to try to get something out of it, because you could read all the nonfiction, all the self-help, all the everything in the world, but if you're not implementing anything, you're not really getting anything out of it. You're just reading to say that you read. So what you want to do is read at least 10 pages in a nonfiction book, and then after you read, you want to write down something that you can implement from those 10 pages. And it's pretty hard to not get something that you can act on or implement from when reading 10 pages. Right now I'm reading Daring Greatly by Brene Brown, and it's almost impossible to go one page without something that I can implement on there. So definitely recommend doing some nonfiction reading every morning. It'll greatly improve your life, your mental state, your knowledge base, and your just effectiveness. Meditate. So this is something I'm not good at. I have a little bit of ADD, so I really struggle sitting down. I really struggle trying to clear my head. But taking some time to meditate and visualize and clear your headspace will do wonders for you. So a lot of people right now are really starting to jump onto the meditation game. A lot of people are recommending meditation. A lot of people are getting more and more involved in meditation. So I highly recommend, getting out there and looking up a YouTube video or checking out somebody who specializes in meditation. But you will find yourself more and more effective. I try and meditate for at least 5 minutes every morning. I use the Calm app, and I listen to some guided meditations, because if I've got somebody else there who's talking through it a little bit, that helps me keep my focus a little bit better than just letting my mind wander, because I can't keep my mind from wandering. I'm not there yet. Hopefully I'll get better and better and get there someday, but not yet. Next is planning out your day. So you want to write down what you're trying to get done that day. And what I recommend is having 2 lists. So I have a daily list that never changes, and it's things like make the bed, go for a walk, exercise, read, take a cold shower. Most of my morning routine stuff is on my daily list. It just never changes. It's always the same thing. And then I have my power list, which is something that comes from Andy Frisella, and it's on his podcast multiple times. He talks about it. He reposts it all the time. But if you really want to start accomplishing more in your life, a power list is the way to get there. But basically what a power list is it's the 5 critical tasks that you need to get done that day to move your life and yourself and your business or your career forward. So for me, recording of this video is on my power list, and will be at least until it becomes a habit where I don't even need to think about it. And that's kind of the idea of the power list is, those 5 things you need to do, you do them. When they become a habit, you replace something on that power list with something else that you can now add in, and now you're even moving more and more forward. The big idea of the power list is, 1, it keeps you focused. You're not allowed by your own standards to do anything else until that's done. No playing video games, no grabbing a beer out of the fridge, no turning on Netflix, definitely no going to bed. So it holds you accountable, and it gets your day started with wins. So if you're starting your day with some wins and you are accomplishing a lot of stuff, that momentum is going to build. And you may not win every day. You'll have days where something comes up and you can't get everything done. You'll have days where your mental health isn't 100% and you fall off and you got to get back up and start again. But I heard somebody say, and I think it was on Lewis Howe's podcast, but he was talking about how just don't miss 2 days in a row with something. So if you're trying to take a walk every day, just don't miss your walk 2 days in a row. So that allows yourself some grace and allows you to not beat yourself up. And as you get more and more ingrained in your morning routine and more effective with it, you'll find that it becomes easier and easier to not miss that one day. And then all of a sudden, you're doing your power list every day, you're doing your morning routine every day, your life's propelling forward. Another one is daily affirmations. So I hear a lot of mixed reviews on daily affirmations. Some people love them, some people don't. I like daily affirmations because what I do with them and the way that I use them is I put, for my daily affirmations, what I wrote down and what I write down when I do them is characteristics in myself that I may not yet have, but I say them as if I do have them and as if it's something that I am currently achieving and doing and living. So what that does is that puts in my head, and the more I repeat them, the more they work their way from my consciousness into my subconsciousness and become a part of me. But I will write down things like, I am an incredible leader. So I have struggled with that in the past, and I think that that's a big reason that I haven't seen the company growth I've wanted to see with what's in my head. Is, while I may be an okay leader, I learned some leadership skills in the military, I haven't been a great leader. And so that got me started in, reading Jocko Willink's books, joining Echelon Front and going through Jocko's trainings on leadership and trying to really dive into my leadership style and my mentality so that I can try and lead people better. But daily affirmations, I think, have a lot of benefit because they start programming your brain into what you actually want out of yourself. The mental image that you have of yourself on paper, even if it's not what you're currently living, the more and more you repeat it, the more and more it starts to dig in and become your own reality. Last thing I've got on my list, at least, is to review your big life goals. And this is something that I got from Grant Cardone years and years and years ago. And he talks about it in 10X. He talks about it in Be Obsessed or Be Average. I've seen him talk about it on YouTube videos. But it's setting big goals for yourself and trying to make them bigger. So basically the idea is that you set goals that are so big that you are excited and motivated to do whatever it takes to get to them. If you look at your goals and you aren't excited and motivated, they're probably not big enough. He says his biggest regret is not setting big enough goals. So when you're setting your big goals, you want to think about what you really want, and then you want to make it way, way bigger. So for me, one of the things that I am working towards doing and really growing is I'm starting a veteran and active duty and first responder mental health nature retreat. So right now we're in the early stages. We're looking for land to purchase. We're looking for people to start joining our camps. But it's very early stages. Our goal is about 150 people in 2020. But my goal for the camp itself is 4,000 people per year in 10 locations across the country. So if you think about it, right now we're nowhere, and we are trying to get to 4,000 people a year to book these retreats, week-long retreats at 10 locations around the country. Now, there's so many things that have to happen from where we're at to where we want to go, but that's the idea of the big goal. It needs to inspire you, it needs to pump you up, and it needs to express your biggest vision. So an example of not setting goals big enough, because I write those goals down every day, at least once a day. I try and do it twice, once in the morning, once before I start journaling. I don't always do it in the evening, but I do always do it in the morning. When I first started my pressure washing company, my big goal for about 2 months was that we made $1,000 a month. Then that became $5,000 a week, or $5,000 a month, then $5,000 a week, and then $50,000 a month, which we still haven't accomplished. But after thinking about it and looking back more, that $1,000 a month didn't motivate me to strive or to push. If I could do it over again and start over again, I would push for, put that $50,000 a month from the start. Work towards $50,000 a month out the gate. I think that would be much more inspiring and empowering, and push a lot sooner and harder. But anyway, that's kind of everything I got about morning routine, my ideas for what to add in your morning routine. I would say when you're starting, start with 3, and my recommendations are vitamins, make your bed, and go for a walk. Those 3 things are going to start your day off with a win, get your health moving forward, and get your head cleared and improve your mental health. So I recommend starting with those 3 and then slowly going and progressing from there. That's about all that I've got for today. Thank you so much for checking me out, watching my video, or listening to the podcast. If you felt you got anything out of it, please leave a review, send it to a friend, tell a friend about it, whatever you can. If you want to connect with me, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram, Justin Greathouse, GreatHouse. I'm also with Service First Retreats. You can find them on Instagram as well. Then I also have a Facebook group that I would love to see you in. It's called Getting Outdoors for My Mental Health. If you look me up, you can usually find the group. I post in there almost every day. It's a small group, but it's growing. So check it out. Let me know what you think. Send this to a friend. Have a great day.